Hi, Taurus, and welcome to your February 2023 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky coming on to talk to you about your month ahead. I'm relieved to be coming on to you, Taurus, because what a nice change in events we have coming up for your sign. We are, of course, moving into All Planets Direct, or have moved into it by the time you're getting this reading. Actually, on the day that I'm filming it, it is just the new moon in Aquarius on the 22nd of January. So it's like the first day of All Planets Direct. We have like Aquarius new moon, Aquarius season. It feels like a totally different world that we're moving into now. And I think that the sign of Taurus, of course, as I mentioned in my APDM video, is one of the most activated signs during this All Planets Direct because, of course, we have Uranus that went direct at, I believe, 15 degrees of your sign, which triggered the All Planets Direct. And then it will be Mercury going retrograde in your sign that will end it in April as we hit your season. So, Taurus, if you want to get more insight on that, by the way, check out my All Planets Direct video, which I'll link below, as I talked quite extensively about that. But let's dive into it a little bit more just about your sign and what this means in entering this period of time. So it's a different story, Taurus. Okay, it's a different story. This is not the same person that we were before. This is the time for our dreams. Okay, this is the time for walking away from what we don't like anymore. Okay, this is the time for breaking through illusion. This is the time for not needing closure anymore. Okay, this is like real life stuff. All right, thank God. Here we are. And I just want to mark that space for you all right now. If you're getting this reading early, especially, or whenever you're getting it, honestly, this is really the time for you to shine. This is the time for your story. This is the time for not just being in your healing journey anymore, as I'm sure many of you still are, but like actually having had healing and actually doing the stuff that matters, okay? Not that healing doesn't matter. Healing is like what I do, right? But when I say that, that's a little bit of a cavalier way of saying like, now it's time for you to let your story move on, and it's time to really get some nice progress. I'm actually happy that we have some of these difficult archetypes coming up. The Five of Swords, the Seven of Wands reversed, the Seven of Cups, the Emperor reversed. The rest of the cards are wonderful, wonderful blessings for you. Let's talk about some of these harder archetypes coming up. The Seven of Cups is prevalent. It's been coming up a lot this month. I think a lot of people are really in the future or really in the past. We have to get into the present now, and we have to be like, okay, this is my life. This is what I'm living. This is here and now. Also, I've identified that one of the main mistakes that people are making in February is not doing something to symbolize or mark or confirm the fact that they've changed or the fact that they're changing. And there are plenty of ways we can do that. You know, some people get the plaque, some people get like the degree in the mail, some people get like the different style or the different haircut. All of those things are really supported. Even grander things than that as well, like getting that new house, okay? Changing territories. Not feeling such a grand sense of restriction. Really letting yourself shine is important. Okay, the Emperor reversed. Let's get out of ego. This might not be you. This could be people around you. But heavy-handed, egotistical control moves is not the idea. The idea is actually allowing the change to happen, not forcing the change to happen. Five of Swords and Seven of Wands reversed. I think that it's very easy to get caught up on how other people took advantage of us, on how also we feel like we're beneath other people with the Seven of Wands reversed, how we feel as if we are not on higher ground, but I think that we are. And it's going to be important this month, Taurus, for you to acknowledge the way in which you actually can move forward uninhibited now. So inhibitions and the perceived confines or the perceived weight. The fixed earth sign of Taurus is one of the signs that is most prone, being on the Scorpio-Taurus axis, to let old emotional turmoil weigh them down. And I really invite you all to really work with the energy of the Fool. Even though that's not in your reading this month, I invite you to work with that energy. The Empress is kind of similar, just in a more feminine way. Working with the energy of the Fool, the Empress, even the Judgment card or the Hermit card for some of you, it's important to kind of embrace this lighter, fresher, new path forward than it is to really get weighed down by things that we still can't work out. Talking a little bit about some of the easier, more positive things coming up. 8 of Cups, the Hierophant, the Strength card. You're strong enough to walk away from what you don't like, Taurus. You're strong enough to have that be a spiritually significant thing and not have that be like a downtrodden or angsty or just hard thing. It's one of the most rewarding times I've ever seen for people to just like feel really good about moving away from something that they've felt really bad about. Is that like rocket science? I don't think so. I mean, imagine that, like walking away from something that we feel really bad about, feeling really good. Like imagine that. Like, oh my God, that's so simple, but like imagine that happening. I think that for the sign of Taurus, that's like a really important thing to understand is true. That like 9 times out of 10 or like 10 times out of 10, it feels really good to walk away from something that's really bad. Okay? And what do we then walk towards? I think that probably is what has us hung up, right? Because oftentimes when people know what they want, they move towards that. And that's kind of like also what signs like Sagittarius are going through right now as well. It's like a matter of what are we aiming for? What is the next thing? And when that's more nebulous, when that's more like in dispute, sometimes we want these uncomfortable securities. Imagine that, uncomfortable securities. Ugh, it just sounds awful. But here we have this chance to really move forward in a more comfortable, sublime way. Let's talk about your week-to-week Taurus in February. Week number 1, the Strength card rooted down by the 7 of Cups. The strength to be in the present. I think that there have been a few other signs that have had that exact combination, or at least these 2 cards in the reading. And it's very simple because, again, the 7 of Cups is especially like future tripping. Like, in the distant future, I'm going to have all this like money and fame and vanity and power and land and territory and jewels and la la la. If that sounds familiar to you, or if you find yourself in a place where you're like, eventually I'm going to get this together, or in time I'm going to like get out of this bad situation, we have to have the strength to get in the present, okay? We have to have the strength to tame the beast that says we can't have that now. Now, yes, it's true. There is no such thing as get rich quick. There is a way that's one of the only positive of the 7 of Cups for me as a reader is that there is something to it when it's like, okay, yes, if I want something that's really, really different than what I have now, there might be like a longer series of events that it takes. You know, we're not going to manifest it right this second. But the important thing is that we don't lose track of where we are and make that like an illusion or make that some type of like coping mechanism, like dreaming with no action. So at least if you're envisioning some type of long-term goal or, you know, huge transformation, understand how you connect to it in the present and try to work with it in a repetitive cyclic way. But if you do notice that you're kind of like getting caught on things that are like just like not realistic or things that are such a push, try to have the strength to get into the present moment and to work with like what you really have, because there might be a lot more there than you realize. Week number 2, the Emperor reversed, rooted down by the Hierophant. The spiritual relevance of the story is more important than the ego relevance. The Emperor reversed has come up a lot this month. I think that a lot of people are in ego. I think a lot of people are wanting also the more like material or worldly power path as opposed to the spiritually significant one. But the spiritually significant one is the one that's here. So also, if you have been disempowered, if you have lost some kind of authority, if you have also been proven wrong, or if you've been criticized, or if you've been like blocked, as the Emperor reversed indicates, try to see that as a spiritually significant experience. And also like a greater sign of like where we should or shouldn't be. Week number 3, the 8 of Cups rooted down by the 5 of Wands. Walking away from malicious people. Okay, walking away from people with like bad intentions. The 5 of Swords is one of the only cards in the tarot that I struggle to find like positive interpretations of. So there is something negative that you all are dealing with here in the 3rd week, but it seems like your instincts are right. 8 of Cups in combination with the 5 of Swords is about as good as it can get. You know, we can walk away from it. We can stop romanticizing it. We can stop putting ourselves in victim mentality as well with Five of Swords. Pay close attention to anybody who like cheats or anybody who steals or anybody who also wants bad things to happen to other people or wants other people to be in compromising situations. Let's walk straight away from that. And that's actually one of these shadow Taurus traits, like just that last thing that I was mentioning, like wanting other people to have bad experiences, or like a Schadenfreude. I forget what the German term is. It's like a feeling pleasure from other people's difficulties or other people's pain. We want to move really quickly out of that because people who engage that feeling are having a really hard time in 2024. So week number 4, the Empress rooted down by the Seven of Wands reversed. Okay, so relax, make it easier. That's another thing I've been getting for a lot of the signs this month is like letting certain hard things just like be easier now. Not having to have the 3 different jobs, not having to work so hard for so little, letting that which is difficult be easier. Because the Empress is very much like antithetical to Seven of Wands reverse. So the Empress does not fear. The Empress is on higher ground. The Empress is comfortable. Seven of Wands is uncomfortable. So there's something that just doesn't add up. There's something that's like discomfort within a comfortable situation, like making a situation that does not have to be uncomfortable. So we want to reverse that here, and we want to work with your natural prosperity. Okay, work with your natural reception as well. What is just here for you? Can we look at that instead of like what is absent? And within that, within this like change in attention, change in focus, that's what this month is all about for you all. So let's talk more about that in your extended reading. I'll link it below and in the center of your screen now. I will get a central theme, 2 supporting themes, and talk more about this change in focus for Taurus. I also do weekly forecasts every week over there, and you get all of these readings early, ad-free, and with extended counterparts over there. So come check it out, Taurus. Have a beautiful month. Bye.